When I open
Chase perfection, catch excellence. Inherit quality, endorse ethics.
can I feel?
Cross the limit, dream beyond.
I am stuck in my mind, I can't explain.
Green Valley Public School, Nellikaparamba, Mukkam, Calicut.
When I'm lost and far away.
Welcome to the exclusive lecture series.
Today we have,
Amaya Trimohan of class 9.
right, here the students take the role of teachers. Today we are discussing the work,
Beggar of Anton Chekhov.
right, The Beggar, written by Anton Chekhov. Let's begin.
Yes,
Welcome, Amaya.
Thank you, ma'am.
Right. So Anton Chekhov wrote this work, The Beggar. It's very popular, right? And you should have heard about this work writer. He's quite popular, right? So he has written a lot of important works, right? So let's have a look at some of his works, right? So he is a Russian,
Playwright and short story writer who is considered to be among the greatest writer in short fiction in history.
right? So he's a Russian writer. We have discussed a lot of English writers, yeah, owing their origin to London, right? And that is Britain, okay, and also American writers. Now it's the turn of Russian writers. Okay, so you will be learning about Anton Chekhov in your class 10, right? So there is a work, The Proposal, which is quite popular. We'll be discussing in class 10, right? So let's go ahead about, let's see about some of his details. So Anton Chekhov was considered to be one of the greatest short story writers in the history of world literature. So you know about him, right? So please note down some facts about Anton Chekhov. He is one of the greatest short story writers in the history of world literature. His career as a dramatist produced 4 classics, and his best short stories are held in high esteem by writing
Yes, and the great
critics. Yes, so his short stories are particularly quite famous. So let's see some details about Anton Chekhov, life of Anton Chekhov.
Anton Chekhov was born in January 17 in 1860. The young Chekhov was soon impressed into the services of the large poverty-stricken family, but he worked cheerfully in his father's shop.
Right, so he was born in a poor family, right? But he went on to become a genius, right? So he is a great intellectual. He studied medicine. Okay, you will know about that later on. So when he was just 14, he relieved of work. Yeah, and he joined at school, right? So when he was 17,
He wrote a long tragedy.
right, so he started writing seriously, right? And that is how he got recognized by people and also by readers as well as critics, right? The start of a career. Okay, so he started his career, he learned medicine, okay, at Moscow University, and his first story appeared in the
Moscow Painter in 1880.
yes, Moscow paper in 1880. During his student years, he poured forth
A succession of short stories and sketches of Russian life with incredible
rapidity. Okay, so he has written a lot of works. He is also a humorist. He also profoundly wrote tragic works. So in 1884, he took his degree as Doctor of Medicine. Can you see? He is a doctor by profession, and he decided to practice, although
His writing had by now taken on a professional character.
yes. So he started practicing. At the same time, he was at his peak as a writer. Okay, see how genius he was. He balanced both. He is a writer, and he was a writer and also a physician. Right, the issues of life. Okay, so he had to face various issues in life. Okay, and despite all that, he went on to write a lot of works. Right. So we can just go ahead and see some of his works. Before that, he's very famous for his quotes. Right.
A good upbringing.
A good upbringing means
Not that you won't spill sauce on the tablecloth, but that you won't notice it when someone else does.
Okay, so he is known to write such humorous quotes, right? The world perishes not from bandits and fires.
but from hatred,
Hostility.
and all these petty squabbles.
Yes, of course, that's what we see these days, right? Petty squabbles. So the world will not perish by bandits or fires, he says, but by hatred. We see a lot of hatred these days, hostility, right? Enmity. Okay, and all these petty squabbles, petty fights, right? So he has wrote a work, The Proposal, which you will be learning next year. So here we are going to discuss his work, The Beggar. Before that, we can also discuss some of his famous works. The Cherry Orchard is quite a famous work by Anton Chekhov. Please note it down. If you go higher level in literature, you will surely learn the Cherry Orchard. And in all the competitive examinations based in English, you will be asked question about Anton Chekhov's The Cherry Orchard. It's very important. Okay, so we said that he is a doctor by profession. So yeah, there is one famous quote of Anton Chekhov which I wish to tell you about. So he said that medicine is my lawful wife and literature my mistress, right? So you can see that how humorously he put it. So he balanced medicine and also literature. And that's why he said medicine is my lawful wife and literature is my mistress, right? So let's enter the story now. The beggar, right? What induced the beggar Lashkov to change his ways? Let's read and find out. Who is Lashkov, Amir?
The beggar.
The beggar is Lashkov. Right. So our main character, the beggar, he is Lashkov. Please note that word, Lashkov. Right. So let's enter the story.
Kind sir, have pity. Turn your attention to a poor hungry man. For 3 days I have had nothing to eat. I haven't 5 copies for a lodging. I swear it before God. For 8 years I was a village school teacher and then I lost my place through intrigues. I fell a victim to calumny. It is here now since I have had anything to do.
Right. So this is the opening paragraph here. So here, who is speaking?
The beggar.
Yes, the beggar is speaking here, Lashkov. Yeah, what does he say?
The man is begging for alms.
Yeah, he is begging for alms. What's the spelling for alms?
A-L-M-S.
Yes, very good. A-L-M-S is the word. So beggars come for alms, right? Yeah. Yeah. Then what is happening?
He said
says,
that he doesn't eat anything for 3 days.
Yeah.
And he don't have even 5 kopecks for paying for room to spend at night.
Yeah. So he's terribly in need of money, right? Very badly in need of money. And there are some words like calumny, intrigues, of which you should know the meaning. Intrigues means what?
Make secret plans.
Make secret plans. Okay. So he lost his place through intrigues, right?
Conspiracy of his colleagues.
Oh, okay, right. And calumny?
False statements.
Yeah, false statements.
In order to damage the reputation of.
Yeah, in order to damage a reputation, right? In order to damage the honor, reputation of a person, you make some false statements. That's called calumny. Please learn that word and also the spelling. It is a year since
he don't have any work to do.
Yeah, okay. So he is badly in need of money and that is why he is begging with whom?
Advocate Sergi.
Yes, Advocate Sergi. Can you see Sergi? S-E-R-G-E-I. Right.
The Advocate Sergi looked at the ragged fawn-colored overcoat of the suppliant, at his dull drunken eyes, at the red spot on either cheek, and it seemed to him as if he had seen this man somewhere before.
Okay, so what you see the identity of the beggar here. So he's a dull, he had drunken eyes and red spot on either cheek, and it seemed to him as if
he saw somewhere else.
Yeah. So we'll just see the face of the beggar and come back from the PPT. Right. So this is the face of the beggar, as you can see, right? So if you search in the internet, you can get to see a lot of pictures because the work, the beggar, is staged in many of the programs. Okay, so you can see about that. You can find that a lot in the internet. Okay, right. So I have also included some other works written by Anton Chekhov. about which we shall discuss later on. Notebook by Anton Chekhov, this is, okay, and it is quite interesting, and that's why I added this. So in this he speaks about themes and thoughts and notes and fragments. So that is why this is published, Notebook of Anton Chekhov, which should be an interesting read, okay. So I tried to mention that. Okay, let's go back to our text. Right, so we were speaking about the beggar. He looked
At the beggar,
yeah, so we get the idea how the beggar looks like. Suppliant means beggar himself, yes. Okay, so what is he telling? I have now had an offer of a position in the
province of Kaluga. The mendicant went on, but I haven't the money to get there. Help me kindly. I am ashamed to ask, but I am obliged to by circumstances.
Okay, so
He had an offer of
yeah.
job offer in Kaluga in Russia. Then the mendicant continued that he had not had the money to get
who is a mendicant?
beggar.
Beggar, yes.
He is ashamed to ask, but his situation is forced him to ask the help.
Okay, so he is begging because of the
His
situation, circumstances, right? So the beggar is giving the idea why he is begging, right? That's what is happening here. So Sergi thinks, I have seen this man somewhere. Yeah, okay. So that happens. Sometimes we meet people, we feel that we have met them before. So Sergi thinks, well, I have seen this man somewhere. Okay. Sergi's
Eyes
eyes.
fell on the man's overshoes, one of which was high and other low, and he suddenly remembered something. Here Sergi looked at the overshoe, and his heel size was different.
Okay.
So he remembered something. Look here, it seems to me I met you the day before yesterday in Sadovia Street. He said, but you told me then that you were a student who had been expelled and not a village school teacher. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so Sergi is quite intelligent. He's an advocate himself. So Sergi says he has seen
He's seen this
a day
man,
ago, right? Yeah. A
in
day.
Sadovia Street.
Yeah. Sadovia Street, yes.
That time the beggar told him that he was a student expelled from his institution and not a village school teacher.
Oh yeah. So earlier he, when Sergi met the beggar, the beggar told that
He was a student expelled from his institution.
yeah. Now he says he's a village school teacher. Okay.
Have done with lying. You called yourself a student and even told me what you had been expelled for. Don't you remember? Sergi flushed and turned from the rapt creature with an expression of disgust.
Okay. What is disgust?
Strong disapproval.
Yeah, strong dislike or disapproval is called disgust. So Sergi is quite angry. So because
turned away from the beggar.
yeah, so he have done with lying, he says, right? Can you see the exclamatory mark that shows his anger? Okay, yeah. This is dishonesty, my dear sir.
He cried angrily. This is swindling. I shall send the police for you. Damn you.
Okay, what is swindling?
Cheating for money.
Yes, swindling is cheating for money. Very good, Ameya. I shall send the police for you. Damn you. Okay, he's trying to curse him. Right. Sir, he said.
Laying his hand on his heart. The fact is, I was lying. I am neither a student nor a school teacher. All that was fiction. Formerly, I sang in a Russian choir and was sent away for drunkenness. But what else can I do? I can't get along without lying. No one will give me anything when I tell the truth. What can I do?
Right. So the beggar is saying
he was lying, and he said that he was not a village school teacher or a student. He was a singer in a Russian choir and was sent away for drunkenness.
Okay, so we see the third identity here. He says that he was a singer in a Russian choir. You know what is a choir, right? And was sent away for drunkenness. Again, he's a drunkard, so he has that problems. Yeah, but what else can I do? He says, of course, he is compelled to beg, right, Ameya?
Yes.
Right. What can you do?
You ask what you can do, cried Sergi, coming close to him. Work, that is what you can do. You must work.
Right. Usually when we see a beggar, what do we feel? We feel that why don't these people work? Right? If they work, they can earn better. So why do they have to beg for money. So even their reputation is damaged. At the same time, they get very little, meager amount. We say meager, MEAGRE. So as students of English, or as being students of an English medium school, you should learn a lot of such words. Okay, meager. We say meager income, MEAGRE, meager. Right. Okay. Work. Yes.
I know that myself, but where can I find work? How would you like to chop wood for me? I wouldn't refuse to do that, but in these days even skilled woodcutters find themselves sitting without bread.
Okay, so beggar seems to be intelligent. He says that even skilled woodcutters do not earn
money.
much. Yes. Will you come and chop wood for me?
Yes sir, I will. Very well, we will soon find out. Sergi hastened along, rubbing his hands. He poured his cook out of the kitchen.
Okay, so why do you rub your hand? When you're getting ready for something, you rub your hand, right?
Yeah.
Okay, right. So Sergi is all set. He's all ready to give him work. So do you see that Sergi was such a kind man? He realized the difficulty of the beggar and he's giving him job. So let's see what happens next. Right. Sergi hastened along, rubbing his hands. Right. Here Olga, who is Olga?
The maid of Sergi.
Yeah, maid servant. Okay, the cook actually of Sergi is Olga. Okay, so we have three main characters: beggar named Lashkov.
The Sergi advocate.
Yeah.
And the Olga maid of Sergi.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, so we move ahead. Here Olga, he said, take this gentleman
into the woodshed and let him chop wood.
Okay. The scarecrow of
The beggar shrugged his shoulders as if in the perplexity and went irresolutely after the cook. It was obvious from his gait that he had not consented to go and chop wood because he was hungry and wanted work, but simply from pride and shame and because he had been trapped by his own words. It was obvious too that his strength had been undermined by vodka and that he was unhealthy, did not feel the slightest inclination for toil.
Right, so you get a lot of words here, Ramya. I can see perplexity, gait, irresolutely, shrugged, toil. Yeah. So we can see each and everything. Shrug. How do you shrug your shoulders? You just do like this. When you are not interested, sometimes you say. When you just want to say you don't know, you are not part of it, you do this, right? Yeah. So what does he do? The beggar shrugged his shoulders and he's just following the cook. And what is gait?
Walk. From his work, Olga can clear that he was not agreed to go and chop wood because he was hungry and he wanted to do work, but he was not interested in it.
Okay, right.
So because of his, he had not strength to work because he was he has the influence of alcohol and he was unhealthy and weak.
Yeah, of course. So if you are a drunkard, if someone is a drunkard, then they have all those physical ailments, right? They have some problems. Yeah. So, right. So he had that inclination. He didn't have that slightest inclination for toil. Toil means hard work. Okay, we move ahead. Vodka, undermined by vodka. His strength had been undermined by vodka.
Because his strength was weakened by the
right.
of
alcohol. Yes. Sergi hurried into the dining room.
From its window, one could see the woodshed and everything that went on in the yard. Standing at the window, Sergi saw the cook and the beggar come out into the yard by the back door and make their way across the dirty snow to the shed. Olga glared wrathful at her companion.
Wrathfully. Olga glared. Wrathfully. Glare means what?
Stared.
Yeah, in anger. Okay? Yes. Glad. Yeah. Wrathfully means out of anger. At her companion, shoved him aside with her elbow. Yeah, just pushing him. Unlocked the shed.
And angrily banged the door.
Yeah, okay. So Olga, we see, this is Olga, Sergi, Lashkov. So the picture is here. So they are having a bit of a fight. Now Olga seems that, okay, I am the maid here. Now there is another person in my place. So she doesn't just like it. Yeah, next he saw
the pseudo teacher seat himself on a log and become lost in thought with his red cheeks resting on his fist. The woman flung down an axe at his feet, spat angrily, and, judging from the expression of her lips, began to scold him. The beggar irresolutely pulled a billet of wood towards him, set it up between his feet, and tapped it feebly with the axe. The billet wavered and fell down. The beggar again pulled to him, blew on his freezing hands, and tapped it with his axe cautiously, as if afraid of hitting his overshoe or cutting off his finger. The stick of wood again fell to the ground.
Okay, so if you keenly read this paragraph, you'll understand how funny the beggar was acting. Okay, may not have lifted the axe in his own whole life. Okay, when he took the axe and just hit on the wood, then he just fell down, right? Once. Okay, irresolutely, you know what? Resolute opposite is irresolute. Resolute means some firm decision. Irresolute is opposite to that. Right. So we move ahead.
Sergei's anger had vanished, and he now began to feel a little sorry and ashamed of himself for having such a spoiled, drunken, perhaps sick man to work at menial labor in the cold.
Okay. So now Sergei is feeling sorry. Yeah. So he gave him the work, but then he is feeling pity. Sympathetic that he's working, okay, because he was such a frail person, so weak because of his alcohol. Right. An hour later,
Olga came in and announced that the wood had all been chopped. Good, give him half a ruble, said Sergei. If he wants to, he can come back and cut wood on the first day of each month. We can always find work for him.
Right. So he is giving half a ruble. Ruble is
Russian currency.
Russian currency, ruble, right? Okay. On the first
of the month, the waif made his appearance and again earned half a ruble, although he could barely stand on his legs. From the day on, often appeared in the yard
Okay, from that day on, he often appeared in the yard, and every time work was found for him. So he kept on coming. So he was earning a steady amount of money from Sergei. Yeah, and Olga was also there, right?
Now he would shovel snow, now put the woodshed in order, now beat the dust out of rugs and mattresses. Every time he received from 20 to 40 kopecks, and once even a pair of old trousers were sent out to him.
Okay, so here we see what all kind of work he did. Other than chopping wood, he was also given some other kind of work. So that's what we see in this paragraph. So students, please try to note down all such facts. You should have key points. You should note down key points from which you will develop the story. So even for your examination, you will be recalling from such key points, right? When Sergei
moved into another house, he hired him to help in the packing and hauling of the furniture. This time the waif was sober, gloomy and silent.
What is waif?
Homeless person.
Homeless person. So we are meaning to, we are speaking about beggar, right? Yes. Waif. Okay.
He hardly touched the furniture and walked behind the wagons hanging his head, not even making a pretense of appearing busy. He only shivered in the cold and became embarrassed when the carters jeered at him for his idleness, his feebleness and his tattered fancy overcoat. After the moving was over, Sergei sent for him.
Okay, so what is being told here?
Sergei went to another house and he was so sad and he was silent.
He shivered of cold and became embarrassed, right? And the carters jeered at him.
Other workers were fond of him because of his fancy overcoat, idleness. He was weak to work.
Right. Okay. So we move ahead.
Well, I'm happy that my words have taken effect, he said, handing him a ruble. Here is for your pains. I see you are sober and have no objection to work. What is your name? Leshkov. Well, Leshkov, I can now offer you some other cleaner employment. Can you write? I can.
Okay, so we see that the attention shifts, okay, the focus shifts. Now Sergei is too kind to offer him some other kind of work. So let's see what happens here. So earlier he had been even giving his old dresses, right, to Leshkov. So let's see what he gives now. Now he is asking whether he can write. Yeah. Then take this letter to a friend of mine tomorrow.
And you will be given some copying to do. Work hard, don't drink, and remember what I have said to you. Goodbye.
Yeah, so
Sergey was leaving.
Yeah, he's-
giving this letter to.
yeah, he's wishing him, the beggar, and he says,
Work
okay,
hard,
yeah,
don't drink.
yeah, so be a better person, he says, in short. Yes, pleased at having put a man on the right path, Sergey tapped Leshkov.
kindly on the shoulders and even gave him his hand at parting. Leshkov took the letter and from that day forth came no more to the yard for work.
Okay, so he didn't come back for such kind of petty works, he's got better job now. Yes, 2 years went by.
Then one evening as Sergey was standing at the ticket window of a theatre paying for his seat, he noticed the little man beside him with a coat collar of curly fur and a worn sealskin cap. This little individual timidly asked the ticket seller for a seat in the gallery and paid for it in copper coins.
Right, so whom is he seeing?
Sergey see the Leshkov after 2 years.
Yeah,
While he is standing to a ticket window.
Yeah, so he's meeting Leshkov after 2 years. So now we are meeting after 2 years, right? Yeah. Leshkov, is that you?
Cried Sergey, recognizing in the little man his former woodchopper. How are you? What are you doing? How is everything with you? All right, I am a notary now. I am paid 35 rubles a month.
Okay, so now what is his earning? 35 rubles from just half a ruble, right? Okay.
Thank heaven, that is fine.
Who is a notary?
Legal.
Yeah, a person who does legal works, right? Yeah. So he works for an advocate. Okay. Of course, Sergey was an advocate, so he gave some kind of a legal work. Okay, a work of a notary, right? Thank heaven. That's fine.
I am delighted for your sake. I am very, very glad, Leshkov. You see, you are my
godson in a sense. I gave you a push along the right path, you know. Do you remember what a roasting I gave you? I really had
you singing into the ground at my feet that day. Thank you, old man, for not forgetting my words.
Okay, so Sergey is too happy for him. He's congratulating him, right? Thank you too, said Leshkov. If I hadn't come to you when I might
still have been calling myself a teacher nor a student
to this day. Okay.
Yes, by flying to your protection, I dragged myself out of a pit.
Okay, so he says if I hadn't met you, I would have still told that I'm a teacher, I'm a student. Okay, yes, by flying to your protection, I dragged myself out of a pit. It's very important, underline this. Okay, because of Sergey, he has flown out of the
Pit.
Yeah, he has come out of the pit. Yeah, I'm very glad indeed. Thank you for
your kind words and deeds. I am very grateful to you and to your cook. God bless that good and noble woman. You spoke finely then, and I shall be indebted to you to my dying day. But strictly speaking, it was your cook Olga who saved me. How is that?
So the beggar says it was the cook that saved me. Okay. But now Sergey is confused. He is asking, how did that happen? Right? How is that?
When I used to come to your house
to chop wood, she used to begin, oh, you sought you. Oh, you miserable creature.
There is nothing for you but ruin. And then she would sit down opposite me and grow sad, look into my face and weep.
Yeah.
Oh, you unlucky man, there is no pleasure for you in this world and there will be none in the world to come. You drunkard, you will burn in the hell. Oh, you unhappy one. And so she would carry on. You know, in that state, I can't tell you how much misery she suffered,
how many tears she shed for my sake. But the chief thing was, she used to chop the wood for me. Do you know, sir, that I did not chop one single stick of wood for you? She did it all. Why to save me?
Why I changed, why I stopped ringing at the sight of her, I cannot explain.
I only know that owing to her words and noble deeds, a change took place in my heart. She set me right and I shall never forget it. However, it is time to go now.
There goes the bell. Leshkov bowed and departed to the
gallery.
Anton Chekhov.
Right. So this is the end of the work. And Ameya has done it so beautifully. She can read it so fluently, as you can see, right? Right. Okay. So what we see here, he is so much indebted to Olga. Earlier we saw that Olga was so much irritated to see this fellow, Lashkov, right? She had to share her workplace with this beggar. But then she was the one who
Saved him.
reformed him more than saving him, right? And she made a good
Man.
decent man out of that drunkard. Please learn this word drunkard. You will have to use that word while you answer to the questions. Right. So you should learn all this. You see, this paragraph is very important in the play, in the work, and this is where you find that twist. Okay. And Anton Chekhov is known to write such kind of stories which have a twist in them. Right. So we have come to the close of the story, and it happened so quickly, right? Because of Ameya's reading style, she can read it so quickly. So there are some words here. Kopek. What is kopek?
Russian coin equal to 100th of a ruble.
Yeah, you have to learn ruble and also kopek. Okay. So some other words are also given, of which we have also, some of them we have discussed, and the rest of them is left to you. You have to learn them, right? And the question answers surely we'll be discussing in the discussion session, right? So I think we have covered all the important part of this chapter, right? And I would like to end with a quote of Anton Chekhov. Yeah, what does he say?
Silly things. Foolishness is a great deal more
Vital
and healthy than our straining and striving after a
Meaningful life. So you see that Anton Chekhov, he's such a serious writer, right? He has produced such great works. His works are very popular, short stories. Please try to read his short stories when you bump upon such stories somewhere in your life. Okay, please collect some of his works. When you get a chance to read, please read. He's known for it. Okay, and he says if you're doing such serious things, also try to do silly things, because that will refresh you, right? That's what he says. Foolishness is great deal more vital and healthy, he says. So it will refresh you and it will make you healthier, he says. Okay, that's about Anton Chekhov. We have come to the close of this lecture, and thanks for joining us here, and thanks for joining us,
Thank you,
Ameya,
ma'am.
for this interesting piece of lecture, right? So we will be meeting soon in another lecture series. Thank you.
Green Valley Public School, Nellikaparamba, Mukkam, Calicut.